developed 4 state curriculum frameworks along with 25 focus group papers on the identified areas after consultation with all the districts on the templates prepared by NCERT. It is with this purpose in mind that we are meeting today so that we can successfully develop the state curriculum frameworks for the state of Meghalaya. So now, without further ado, let us commence this program by getting a brief overview of the program from our Joint Director, Shri P.B. Lampan.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mitipero, for this brief start of this program, for this original program, online original program on NCF for the state of Meghalaya. Okay, we have started this process right from last year with the guidance from NCERT. And we in here for the, like I already mentioned, that this is a bottom-up approach for development days, curriculum frameworks along with this 25% papers. So just to start that here we already had been doing since the month of January the groundwork realities. Why this one is that one thing that there are two main features here. One thing is that this, like I already mentioned, that this program is this development of SCF and those question papers is a bottom-up approach. Okay, we have that's why to get a lot of favor. And another thing is that this is paperless regarding this development of these question papers and curriculum frameworks. So based on that, with the guidance of NCERT, with the guidance from CIET technical part of NCERT, we have completed two main tasks. One of the tasks is we have completed the mobile app survey to understand the ground realities, which we utilize for the question papers, which and we completed this. The target for average target for each state is 3,000, but for Meghalaya we have completed that 3,124 with the help of surveyors across the states. We appreciate the work from the State Project Director SSA and also the surveyors. We get from them also from the diets that we have completed these tasks. Another one is that from the background we have worked is that we are doing this district level consultations. So we have formed 7 groups. 11 districts in Meghalaya, we have formed 7 groups. Those groups where we have the diets. So each diet, they have to complete 4 DCRs, district consultation reports, one each for the those that are mentioned education. So four DCRs each diet. So we have completed all the 28 we have from this. We have 28 reports, 28 DCRs from this Meghalaya. These are background works which are completed for the we used for the focus group, the question papers as well as this state curriculum frameworks. So on my part is that we have been done from one state, and as like we have understand from NCERT that we did complete from now onwards this 25 question papers along with the 4 SCF. So the main task now and the objective of this program is on how to go about with the development of these 25 question papers in the different areas and also the 4 SCF. So today we are inviting all these members of the 25 areas, members of the 25 focus groups, and also the members of steering committees. Government has already constituted 3 steering committees. One combined for school education and ECC, one steering committee for the teacher education, another one for the adult education. So here among us here we have all these participants. We are the members from these two stages, we can say, steering committees and focus groups. 3 steering committees and 25 focus groups. So in this at this part, I would like to welcome. First of all, I would like to welcome this person at this for this program. One of these persons is Madam Professor Ranjana Arora. She is the head of the DCS Department of Curriculum Studies, NCERT, and she will be taking with us for this part related to the development of academic part of the development of SCF and question papers. After that, we'll be having I also like to welcome Professor N. Pradhan. He's from Navy NCERT, Umiam. and we're taking us the part again to NEP. This which also very much for us to understand to formulate about this development, because development, like Dr. Baba has mentioned, that because of the NDP, whatever has given there, that that we come up with this curriculum framework as per the guidance of guidance of the NDP. So now I would like to prolong my speech here, but just welcome all the members here of the three committees. We are very fortunate to have three committees: the Secretary of Education Department. We have requested our hub is the Secretary of Education Department, so we like to welcome here in this program. Also, the director from here, he's not here because of some busy schedule. Our director, GP Lakian, and also director of diesel GST, and also the members, I mean the officers from the other department, like social welfare department, who are members in these state committees. They are members in the state committees which are from NIT, from NEHU, from IAM, they are from NERI, from State Research Center, NEHU, and they are members from the colleges, assistant professor colleges, and CTEs, and from schools. We come all here in this program. And also they are members, coordinators for the discussion, which are also mentioned more or less the same. They are the professor, assistant professor, they are assistant professors of NEHU, they are from NCRT, they are from college, CTE, they are from, some of them are from Azimut University, from NERI. Even there are some of them who are from PSS, CIVE, Bhopal, NIT Shillong. They are principals of all high school schools. Some of them they might be educationists, some lecturers, teachers of secondary high school schools. There's retail teachers, retail faculty, and my colleague from the DRT, from DIETS, CTC Sora, from the AMBOS, and also there are some of you from the SSA that are also from who are member of the focus group from the social welfare department, from the forest department, from the health department. There are also some agencies from the state of Meghalaya, like Business Society, from Jyotis Road, Rita Academy of Visual Arts, Dundas Youth Center, from Richway Mine, the Council Center, Roads, Calicut, Shillong. There might be some advocates here also in this group, in the members from the focus group, and also organization from outside. Bengaluru, the ISS, Tata Institute of Social Science, Bombay. There are also some independent consultants. There are also some from other groups like TSG, Delhi, from another from Jindal Global Law School. There are some from DNV, Rajasthan. They are from Mahindra University, Hyderabad, and other organizations which I will be pleased to mention here. So I welcome all here, all the members of the focus group, members of the city committees here in this original program is online. This program is purely for the time being is purely academic. We may be having another program maybe the first week of April, like I discussed this morning from CIET, that reading the technical part of this development of focus group and percent papers, there are some technical part also, because like I did mention before that everything here, the documents will be purely online. It will be like paperless, we have to say. Okay, even that's why this is first part really academic part, and also the second part the technical part. Because everything should be in a technical part form. So that we will link in the first part after the template has been completed by NCRT. So that's all. I welcome all of you who are present, who join here online. Much for all and also for spending your time to be us in this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So our next session is on the process flow of the development of state curriculum framework, then development of position papers, and an overview of the guidelines, which will be taken by Professor Ranjana Arora. But before we start, let me tell you briefly about Madam here. Professor Ranjana Arora is the Head Department of Curriculum Studies and Development, NCRT, New Delhi. Her areas of interest includes curriculum development and research in school and teacher education and teacher professional development. Professor Arora's experience is varied and spans from school education to teacher education to art education to develop connectivity with educational policies generated in Madam immense interest in exploring curriculum development in school education. In 2004, she got the opportunity ongoing process of curricular reform at the NIE NCERT New Delhi was transferred to curriculum group. Gained experience in setting up structures dealing with associated members of and evolved framework document the state's duties for curricular reforms and dimensions. This group also contributed in the development of report of working group on secondary education set up for 11th five-year plan. This experience was invaluable as a window to a range of issues in which the council is mandated to work: educational development, training, and extension. We are indeed privileged, Madam, to have you here with us today. A very warm welcome to you, and I hand over the session to you. Ma'am, please.
Thank you very much, Madam. So, very to all the esteemed dignitaries present here who have joined us online, SCRT's official, members from DIETS, experts, scholars, teachers from entire Meghalaya, and my own colleagues from NADI. So very good afternoon to all of you, and I'm very happy to be here for interacting with you on the process perspective of making of national curriculum framework as well as state curriculum framework. So as far as my knowledge goes, and also what I have learned from just now from whatever you were presenting some report, I found that Meghalaya has done good progress constituting focus group and steering committee, because these are the milestones. Once we constitute our steering committee as well as our focus group, we can say that half work done, and now we have to go for academic discussion and compiling thoughts and inputs from various corners and make a good position paper. So I will be just presenting you that some of the components that how we have started, and now how we have to now pick out those kinds of things. So just I'll be making a very brief presentation here. So this is a brief presentation on curriculum reform at the state and the national level. Approach, process, and progress. So we have to see that what approach we are now going to adopt and how our process flow is going on. And so I will be talking to you on many aspects on this. So first of all, let us see that what is the need for the national curriculum framework. And of course, when we reflect upon the need of national curriculum framework, you will find that of course there is a need of a state curriculum framework too in the state. So you can see that these curriculum framework, what it gives to us, it gives us curriculum description of areas of learning, languages, subjects, vocational, skills, attitudes, values, sports, arts. So of course there is a policy. NEP 2020 is there. There are many recommendations, but how those recommendations will be implemented on the ground as far as school education, teacher education, adult education, and of course, early childhood care and education is concerned, these national curriculum frameworks will provide us roadmap. And if we say that these curriculum description will come at the national level, of course, the same will be valid for the state level. That state will also provide its own areas of learning, its own languages, a description of the languages, its own description of the subjects. Of course, either state will draw insights from the national curriculum framework, or national curriculum frameworks will will draw the insights from across the state curriculum frameworks. So this is the need for the national curriculum framework. Learning outcomes, of course, how learning outcomes will be defined and what should they include, that also our national curriculum framework is going to define. Core essential skills, these are the areas we all are grappling with. What should be the core essential skills? Whether it is a common core, which 1986 policy is saying, or whether it is something beyond that. Of course, core essential skill is something beyond the common core. So we have to see that in each and every subject areas, we have to draw core essential skills so that we can reduce burden, curriculum burden on children. Then we also have this teaching learning material. How in what form we can develop our teaching learning material, what should be the quality of that, those kinds of things national curriculum framework will be talking about. So you can see that now you need to visualize your role into that, because national curriculum framework is a document which will draw inputs from the state curriculum framework. State curriculum framework will draw inputs from the state focus groups. So you can see that if you are a member of state focus groups, and if you are a member of value education state focus group, you must be visualizing that, okay, so we have to provide inputs, of course, for the classroom transaction, also for the pedagogy, also for the learning outcome, so that our inputs will go to state curriculum framework, and state curriculum framework will provide inputs to the national curriculum framework. So yes, of course, national curriculum framework will be talking about classroom transactions, that how students learn, how teachers teach, how technology can be integrated, how evaluation takes place, how this will be holistic. It is also talking about other areas like how can we involve artisans, how community members can be involved, how this project-based, game-based, play-based learning will be there. Of course, teacher education will also talk about the reforms in the teacher education. NEP, as you all know now, I think Meghalaya also might have constituted a 4 national steering committee. So because we have to prepare 4 national curriculum frameworks. One is in the area of school education, which is overarching curriculum. It will deliberate upon early childhood care and education also, teacher education also, and adult education also. And then there will be a curriculum framework for early childhood care and education, for teacher education, and adult education. So 4 national curriculum frameworks will have its association with 4 state curriculum frameworks across the states UTs. So for this, at the national level, we have constituted only 1 national steering committee, which is looking after all these 4 curriculum frameworks. But of course, states, different states have constituted steering committee in different manner. Some have constituted 4, some have constituted 3, some have constituted 2. So now this time, this is a bottom-up approach we are now going to use for this national curriculum framework. It is not like that we will sit here in Delhi and will provide some national curriculum framework. You know, that is not going to be done this time. This time, entire bottom-up approach is being used. First of all, states have to conduct their district level consultation, mobile app survey. Then these district level consultation and mobile app survey will provide inputs for the 25 state focus groups. So if you are a member of state focus group, you please go thoroughly to the reports of district level consultation and mobile app survey analytics. You please see, and you will find some kinds of inputs in your area from those kinds of consultation. So this is very much required, because we have said that grassroots level inputs need to be included in our focus groups. Then after this focus groups, states can come out with the draft state curriculum frameworks. This is not maybe this may take some longer time, but state focus group can directly provide inputs to the national focus groups, and national focus group provide inputs for the national curriculum framework. And after national curriculum framework, states may finalize their draft SCFs. But of course, they can start their process of state curriculum frameworks as well, but they may not, there is no hurry for state curriculum frameworks, because first let us do this national curriculum frameworks, and we draw insights from that, so that state curriculum frameworks will be finalized. So basically, national curriculum framework will draw inputs from the state focus groups. So if we will give state focus groups as soon as possible, by 15th April, all the position papers, then it will be really very helpful for the national focus groups. So then national focus groups will provide inputs for the national curriculum frameworks. NCERT has conducted a survey on MyGov portal, like mobile survey states have been doing, and NCERT will also be conducting some district level consultations in the state. Maybe very soon we will be starting that. If you see what steps we have taken for this development of national curriculum framework, there is an entire strategy document, big strategy document we had prepared, and based on that strategy document we are moving ahead. So we constituted so many committees at the NCERT, so that speed up the process. Identification of 25 themes from the NEP, as you all know, for the focus groups, and you all are aware of those themes. Then we have also nominated national level nodal officers. NARI, nodal officers from NARI and from NIE are already there with you. MyGov survey we have questionnaire we have prepared. Tech platform we have prepared. Still it is in the process, but now it is also became live. So till now, we have also conducted National Steering Committee meetings. 4 National Steering Committee meetings have been conducted till now. Template also is ready for the state focus group, but we have given a big guideline which was prepared under the guidance of National Steering Committee, and these guidelines are now with the states. These guidelines are in the form of they are expecting that focus group paper need to come out in the form of question answers, and so that they can give us inputs for many on many concerns and recommendations of the policy for their implementation. So so there are much more have been done, but why this tech platform has been created? Because the whole process we want to be paperless. If you see what is the progress in the state, you can see that strategy document we have already shared with the states. We have shared with the state all the district level guidelines and questionnaires. Mobile app survey NCERT had shared. Orientation of state nodal officers had been done. Code of the focus groups also had been done, because why we have created this tech platform, you need to understand. On the tech platform, your district level report will be going. This district level, each and every question of district level report will be mapped with the focus group areas, so that from the district level report, the responses to the question will be compiled, and that will be shown to the focus groups, so that focus group can see their relevant responses and can take the inputs from that. So this has been done. And I'm very thankful all the states have now recognized SCRT as nodal agencies. And of course, a nomination of nodal officers have been done by the state. Nomination of one tech coordinator also has been done by the states. members for SFGs have been identified, and Meghalaya has really constituted SFGs, and of course SSC, state curriculum, state steering committee have already been constituted. So now this we need to very much need to understand that how these 25 themes have been divided. There are 12 focus groups directly related to curriculum and pedagogy. If you see science education, if you see mathematics education, if you see health, fitness, yoga and sports, these are areas related to curriculum and pedagogy. And then there are 5 focus groups on cross-cutting themes: value education, inclusive education. They have to be integrated and included in all the focus groups. So one need to be very, very much clear that if you are a member of focus group of value education, your role is really immense. So you have to provide inputs for actually all the focus groups, and of course even for the systemic reforms, because your role is cross-cutting role. And of course, when science education, we are writing science education focus group need to talk to value education, that while writing science education, how I will give a perspective of integration of values into science education. So that's why in all sense we can have a complete set of national focus group papers, so that it will really meaningful inputs we will be able to provide to national curriculum frameworks as well as state curriculum frameworks. So these are areas which are related to curriculum and pedagogy. I'm not going to give more time on this because you all are aware of this. Curriculum pedagogy is separate focus group also. This will be giving generic recommendations on for across the stages, for across the areas. But science education will be very particular about science education. Arts education, it will give integrative perspective as well as separate area perspective. Likewise, social science also. So vocational education in schools is another area. Language education is another area. So these are the themes directly related to curriculum and pedagogy. And then this is curriculum and pedagogy position paper. Focus group has great role to play. They have to look at the new curricular areas also for school education. They have to look at the school curriculum and pedagogies, national and international researches also they need to see, and they need to come out with holistic, enjoyable and engaging curriculum and pedagogy perspective. 5 cross-cutting themes, very important: knowledge of India, value education, gender education, educational technology in school education, and inclusive education. So you have to see, and moreover, it is a request to all the focus groups and of course national steering state steering committee that they need to have thorough understanding of national education policy, what it is saying about value education, what it is saying about knowledge of India, so that we can utilize those kinds of recommendations for providing roadmap in our focus group. And then state curriculum framework will draw inputs from your focus group, and of course national focus group will also draw inputs from your focus group. So these things we need to see and we need to follow. 8 themes are related to other important areas. Those are basically systemic measures. Teacher education is a systemic measure. So if entire teacher education system will be reformed, definitely we will get good teachers, quality teachers, and these quality teachers will be able to provide quality school education in future. School governance and leadership will also include a school complex, school as a Samajik Chetna Kendra. Those kinds of concerns school governance and leadership has to see. Alternative ways of schooling is very important, particularly in this time of pandemic, where now we have started online blended mode. And of course, now even RT is also under revision, because we have to see that we have to go beyond schooling now. So guidance and counseling, emerging role of community in education is very, very important. We have to see not only diversities in communities, but also community's role in education now, how parents can contribute, how other volunteers can contribute in school education. And like in this regard, I must mention that Vidyanjali portal, you must visit Vidyanjali portal developed by Ministry of Education, and how beautifully it is connecting the requirement of school with those who want to contribute to the school. So those kinds of things are now emerging. Linkages between school education and higher education has great role to play. This focus group, they have to really invite, they have to have this kind of composition, that there must be people from the school education, there must be people from the higher education, not only universities but also from professional bodies, so that they can sit together, they can find that what is the requirement of school education and how it can be linked with the higher education. Suppose we are saying that there should be flexibility in subject areas. Now, if school education is giving flexibility from classes 9 to 12, that children can opt for any position paper, any course. So how higher education will be linked to this, whether our children will be getting those kinds of courses there also, or whether they will be having any problem, or so they need to come out with a model, even for credit transfer model or something like that. They need to discuss among themselves. So these are some of the, so coming to the role of focus groups, I must mention that they have to develop papers which will provide inputs to the national curriculum frameworks based on the principles of NEP 2020. Of course, there will be references of national, international, state level researches, good practices, and other supporting material in the focus group papers. The papers may be based on wider consultation with different institutions, experts, and concerned ministry, their department. Of course, I must request you that don't hesitate to consult other ministries, because now lots of ministries are working towards the implementation of NEP 2020. You can see that even like at the national level, textile ministry is working on toy manufacturing of toys, toy fair, those kinds of things. Suppose now, and we are working toy based pedagogy, so we need to connect with each other and see that that what are their needs and what we are going to offer. So so last time we have created 21 national focus groups, but now 25 national focus groups have been created. This is the process flow you can see on the tech platform. So 4 national curriculum, so many district level consultations, so many focus groups. Once this process will be over, you will be having thousands of documents, thousands of groups, and lakhs of people have involved in this whole process. So this is the process flow from district level to state level to national level. So once you will be visiting our tech platform, you will find this kind of process flow on the tech platform. So here I just want to mention some kinds of areas of national curriculum framework, and I request all of you, first of all, you all need to see this 5+3+3+4 curricular and pedagogical framework. It is very much important. NEP has given this stage-wise developmental concerns and of course the pedagogy. So every focus group need to see, if you are a focus group of inclusive education, you have to have recommendation stage-wise. What are you recommending for foundational stage? What are you going to recommend for the preparatory stage? What are you going for to recommend for the middle stage? And what are you going to recommend for the secondary stage? And now secondary stage is constituting from classes 9 to 12. So you also need to think that up to what stage you want general education, and 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 in which class you want that now children need to be given flexibility in choices of elective subjects or optional subjects. So those kinds of things you need to discuss at the state level and think. Likewise, in early childhood care and education, how you are going to implement in your state, What do you think? What are the challenges of early childhood care and education is there in the state, and how can you overcome from these challenges? So that focus group, this early childhood care and education focus group is very important, because this entire one focus group paper will be giving inputs for the whole early childhood care and education curriculum framework at the state level, and of course at the national level. Foundational literacy and numeracy will be included in this early childhood care and education position paper, and you have to give lots of space to the foundation literacy and numeracy in that paper, because there is no separate paper on that. Maybe state might have constituted that focus group, we don't know, but of course at the national level we have integrated these two things: early childhood care and education and foundational literacy and numeracy. Competency based education, of course, in every focus group area you have to mention about competency based education in your area. Rather than textbook driven system, now we need to make our system competency based driven, a competency driven system. Flexibility in choice of subjects is very important, and very meticulous recommendation need to be there in this focus group, which are subject specific focus group, whether science education, whether mathematics education. They need to give us different subject areas also which are linked with science education and mathematics education. No hard separation also need to be deliberated upon. If we are not giving any boundaries in between subject area, then what should be our modalities? So these need to be reflected upon. Reduction of curriculum to core essential is very important. All the focus group need to sit and discuss that what are the core essential in science. What are the bare minimum you want that these need to be taught in the school, either through integrated approach, or in the classroom where teacher is very important to take this core essential. So we need to see, and we need to discard all those content which now you think that it is not relevant for the for 21st century. But of course state focus groups are not giving going to give a syllabus. Of course that state curriculum framework also is not going to give us syllabus, but they can give us the criteria. What should be the criteria for selecting this core essential in science education, for selecting this core essential in mathematics education? That you need to see. Benchmarking learning levels in class 3, 5 and 8 at the elementary level, that is going on. NAS has already been done. For FLN also survey is going on. Reimagining vocational education is a new area for focusing, when we are telling that it need to be focused in from class 6 to 8, and of course with bagless days. So you can see that yes, we are reimagining vocational education now. So identification of course skills and content already covered. Multilingualism is very important, in particularly in the case of Meghalaya. Lots of languages are there, and we have to respect each and every language. Integrating knowledge of India, 21st century skill, these are very important. Systemic reform I have already talked about. Life skills, citizenship, values, inclusive education, experiential learning, Indian knowledge system, these things are very important, and all the focus group need to take care of all these things. So I think you all might have got the guideline, comprehensive guideline. If you go through that guideline for the focus group paper, you will find that the guideline in first few pages, this guideline has been divided into 25 areas of the focus groups, and in each of the areas of the focus group, guideline is clearly giving you vision and anchors from the policy. One is vision points, and then anchor point also, that they are quoting paras from the policy, that what policy is saying on this theme, what policy is saying on that. So it is really a very good exercise done by mandate group under the guidance of National Steering Committee, and then very thought-provoking questions are there. Range of questions are there, generic also and stage specific also. So once the focus group will sit and take up one question and try to reflect and answer and make a consensus, you will find really this exercise very, very useful. So at the national level, what we are doing, we have distributed, some of us have distributed questions among our members, and our members are now reflecting upon the questions. When these responses from across the members will come, then we will start compiling, and then we'll again go back to members and again discuss that whether these responses have consensus of the whole focus group. And while doing these responses, we can also see district level consultation, mobile app survey, that what they are saying, what kind of inputs we are receiving from these consultation. So position paper in question and answer form need to be uploaded in PDF format on the tech platform. And of course, later on we will be providing you e-template as well. So then once you have question and answer form, so you will, and what we have done in e-template on the tech platform, we have now given headings and subheadings for each of the focus group, because when it will be published, it needs to be published in the heading subheading form. But all the headings and subheadings have been mapped with the questions. So all the questions have been mapped with the headings and subheadings. So you need not to repeat your exercise. You just make a gist of your answer, your responses to those questions, and input, feed into the e-template. So this is the thing we have done now. Maybe very soon you will be having all the 25 e-templates available on the tech platform. There are some questions, I can show you this, that these kinds of questions are there for ECC. One can see that what kind of children instructional material and TLM will be needed for development of strong FLN skills. Now you are an expert, you are a scholar, you are university lecturer or professor, you are teacher, you are school heads, you are diet teacher educator. Now you all are sitting together and now reflecting to this question. So maybe multiple perspective will be coming from different sides. So you have to make a consensus. Okay, what kind of instruction material we need for children at the foundational stage, so that their FLN skills need to be there. Of course, there are plenty of materials, plenty of schools are there which are taking these kinds of things in their own manner, but now in tune with national education policy, which is also recommending rootedness in India, that we need to see that in that context, is there form and instructional material of children's? Is there, will there be a different kind of TLM now we need? That you need to see and you need to come out with. So this is some very small brief introduction to tech platform. Tech platform is very much important for all of us. So a portal and a mobile app survey have been jointly developed by the NCERT and NIC, and this has already been now become, they have this made live, and states are using it. And you will go in your state tenant, you will find that if you have uploaded district level report, it will be there. Your mobile app survey analytics are there. So once you will start getting those kinds of reports, you can also share some kinds of observation rights with all the focus groups and steering committee, so that they can also look at these your district level consultation as well as mobile survey. Tech platform is very important because one is that it will be giving ready-made progress. So because track status will be there, and of course we are going to utilize machine learning, so that we need not to go through each and every focus group line by line. We may get compiled responses on some questions from across the focus group. So these are this is some of the, I just have to take one phone call and I'll get back to you. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes. Yes, that examination reform group. No. Examination reform group. Yes. I think chairperson of that group. I don't have the. I'll give you the name. So, ma'am, we are also in the process of making a report. Ma'am, I have drafted the minutes and I have sent to director. So it is already drafted, ma'am. Yes. Okay. So sorry. So now we are coming to way forward and our strategy and timeline. So process has already been started. All the SFG position papers we need by April 2022. NFG position papers we are getting ready by 15th May 2022. NCF for school education will be there by August 2022. And after that, you can also finalize your SCFs. Capacity building of stakeholders will start. Then state syllabus committee, national level state syllabus committee will be formulated, and development of syllabus and textbook will be started. So this is the whole process, strategy and timeline. So thank you. So now I think I invite your queries, your observations. So I'm here to respond to you. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thank you.
Okay, request our friends, member of the focus group as a committees to give the questions to ma'am. If the question can be better. Can we give if have any doubts or issues, can we give?
This is your chance to clear any doubts that you have regarding the
Ma'am,
position paper.
Ma'am, Pawan Kumar here.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please elaborate a
Yes.
little on what do you mean when you say Indian knowledge system, or can you direct us to some of the resources which we can refer to?
Yes. So this is very good question. Indian knowledge system in NEP is clearly saying that we have to get back to culture of India, and you can see that in every state, every UT, we have our own cultural roots. Suppose if we want to give a theme food. Food is a theme we generally take across these stages. Now rather than giving content in the area of food, or for the addressing the food in a mechanical way, that food constitutes this, food constitutes that, these are the integrates, can we have also this kind of content which says that what are our traditional foods, traditional state foods, and how these kinds of things have been started, what were our food habits and practices in our ancient times. So those kinds of things we now need to integrate in our curriculum, so that our children need to really feel proud of our traditional practices, because these practices are are not gone far. They are still continuing, because that's why these are traditions. So those kinds of things we need to see. And of course there are many resources to which we can refer to. There are many institutions also, websites also. I will be giving you detail. We have some kinds of details available with us, so maybe I will be sending to SCRT. So that right now I don't have those kinds of things available with me, but we will be sharing with you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. This is Esther from Meghalaya Board of School Education.
Yes.
Ma'am, I would like to see that second slide, ma'am, with the timelines. Capacity building of stakeholders. That is when is the timeline for that, ma'am?
I'll just show you.
It was there on the second last slides that you showed us.
Yes. So this will be from September 2022 to March 2023. Once your national curriculum framework will come, you will take hardly very less time to finalize your state curriculum framework, because you're already in the process. Then
Right,
you can, and we both can start capacity building of our stakeholders.
Ma'am, I can come in. Can I come in, please?
Ma'am, I have another question, please.
Yes, please.
I have seen somewhere you have shared in the slides that the text as well as the non-text materials also are to be framed in line with the NEP. Has NCERT called for a capacity building on this issue, ma'am, on the development of text and non-text material?
Of course, actually, NCERT also is in the process of making a complete handbook for developing textual material as a follow-up of NEP 2020. So once this national curriculum framework will be out, and we will start building capacity of teachers, teacher educators on those lines, we will be coming out with capacity building program for textbook developers as well. And because it is very much required, because entirely new templates will be coming out, and policy is clearly saying even if you are adopting NCERT textbooks, you have to include local flavor in that.
Right.
So how to include local flavor, that we need to really work upon that. Yes.
Right, ma'am. And ma'am, may I give you a suggestion on this? Like besides the teachers, like members from the school education boards also may be included in this program. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, very much.
So I think SCRT will take note of this. This is very important, because I remember at the time of National Curriculum Framework 2005, we in the last part of NCF we did include boards. But of course, if we can include boards in the very beginning, that would be very good for all of us.
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry to start from Northeastern University. In fact, most of the talk was related mainly primarily for the school education and children. But I am in the university.
Sir, please little louder, sir. Sir, enhance your volume, sir.
I am Professor S. Prasad here from Northeastern University. As I could see, most of your interaction or presentation was mainly for the school education. Okay, and NCERT also is the school part. And for the higher education, maybe that will not cover that part. For higher education, we had some meeting how to implement the NEP in our university. Many meetings are done. The important or most important part is that.
No, sir, Prasad, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you.
But I have switched on. I could keep it on. Can you listen now? Hello? 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 So anyway, I just leave it. Hello? Anyway, go to the next one.
Sir, you may put the microphone closer to your mouth, sir.
Can you hear now? Hello?
I think sir was telling about higher education.
Yes, higher
So-
education, particularly.
Yeah, so,
Language
yeah.
problem, because generally the medium of their teaching is in English, and particularly in the science subjects. We have the subjects, areas, science. So I am in the Department of Zoology. At present, I am representing the Vice Chancellor for his visit. So he asked me to attend this orientation program. So how to solve the language problem? That is the main. Suppose we adopt the NEP and then regional languages, particularly the scientific content and researches, journals, literature, then translate what they have the latest. So how to do that? We had a meeting here in diversity also. So if you can oil area or there should be option, something like that. Still we can follow like English, we say most of the higher education teaching all over the world, or most of part of the world is done in English. Most of the journals, scientific journals, nature, science, everywhere they are in English. So how to come across this hurdle while adopting the NEP, particularly in the higher, that is what hurdle we have discussed on the skill development. Can we have now?
Sir, actually, we could not listen to you properly, but whatever I could understand, you are talking about language, that how can we solve the problem of language, not for the school education and also for the higher education as far as examination and other classroom transactions are concerned. So, sir, we are also in the process of discussing all these things, because we have to draw inputs from all the states' duties. So we are also looking forward towards states that what kind of inputs they are going to provide. These kinds of questions have already been routed through the guidelines, and of course to the district level consultation. That if NEP 2020 perspective of language you have to implement, what are the challenges you will face, what are your suggestions, and what are the systemic initiatives you will take. So those kinds of questions are already there with the participants or those who are into this. So we are waiting for their responses so that some consensus should be there, and then we can come out with a very nice foolproof recommendation on these kinds of things. So we are also still in the process. Yes.
Ma'am, can I come in? Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. What Professor Prasad was saying was so very relevant, but I think there is some issue with the internet in our side at the university. But then, I appreciate the efforts that's taken by our state government in constituting very exhaustive committees. I was reading, and they are very, very resourceful people there. But there is also a major challenge as you put through the timeline. The challenge and the time that we have is just not there, because we are already into April, and there are a lot of things we would have done it by now. One is, the appeal is, I think we need to sit together, the committees that have been constituted, to really look at least the curriculum framework. That's what I felt. If it is just being left to us, I don't think we'll really take it up seriously individually, because we think, okay, it would be done. One. The second part is, I don't know what is going to be happening apart from the languages in Northeast. You talk about more than 180 to 200 languages we speak, and if we start really NEP with the individual, the resource material, the books, everything is not going to be easy. Probably that's state-wise the government is planning. My only appeal is, these are connected. You talk about school and then higher secondary, then the college and the university education. They are all connected. Unless we work in tandem and in a coordinated manner, I may all be prepared at the university level. We are teaching here. But unless I have the feeder group coming from the college, my exercise is going to be futile, because we talk about 5, 3, 3, 4. But I'm depending on the feeders that are coming from the college. And likewise, for the colleges, they are coming from this higher secondary and the school. I think somewhere this coordination has to work to really, come out with the timeline and the deadline that is set. Otherwise, we can be prepared at one end, and the connectivity may be lost. We may be prepared at the school level or at the university level, and we are not prepared at the higher secondary. Just one missing link can create issues, and the timeline for implementation of NEP would be, really difficult. That's what I wanted to rather, ask you. Is there a coordinating kind of a supervision that's looked at, where every sphere of this educational system and hierarchy is taken care of?
So you are very right. Yes. You see, at the national level, we are working on those kinds of things. Basically, we are expecting input from the state. In is school education, whether it is, and those kinds of inputs again will be looked at by the national focus. Let's suppose national looking at the inputs provided by all the states on the science education, and they can have some own consensus, and if some best practices they are getting from the state, they will take care of that. If some good model is there, they will take care of that, and they will formulate their national focus group. And then we have also planning to have stage wise groups. After national focus groups, we will be having a planning for stage-wise groups at a national level. This stage-wise group, suppose foundational stage group is there. This foundational stage group will be taking care of whatever national focus groups are saying for the foundational stage. Then
I don't know if the connectivity is a problem towards Nehru. Professor Prasad is there. I'm not able to hear Madam actually.
I think she has lost connection.
okay, now am I audible now?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Now am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now.
No? It's okay. So I'm just saying that at the national level, we are trying to constitute stage-wise groups. Once states will be providing us input in the for the national focus group, national focus groups will be providing inputs to all the stage-wise groups, and then there will be a consolidated group also, which will consolidate every inputs at the stage level and of course at the focus group level. So we have this kind of system. We are creating mechanism so that each and every aspect to be looked after, and of course linkages with higher education. We will be having, I think, later on consultation with higher education also, so that we should not miss any link. So that we are trying at a national level to constitute more and more this kind of mechanism, so that nothing should be missed out.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, a small clarity on the next steps. So I understand that, please let me know if this is I'm on the right page. So I understand that all of us in the focus group will be responding to the questions that are, that are suggested to us. And then we'll be given with the e-template on the dashboard or on the platform for which we'll have to respond, right?
Yes.
It's right?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Of course, you are very much right. First of all, you all have to reflect upon the questions. You have to give answer, and you will see that in many focus groups, the same kind of questions are there. So now those similar kinds of questions will be compiled by the tech platform to see that what science education is saying on that aspect, what environmental education is saying on that aspect, so that state curriculum framework will take care of all these things.
Great. Okay. Ma'am, and a small request. There are a couple of abbreviations in the tech platform, like say, for example, SCE and all that. Can you please help us identifying the full forms of those things? Like they're not available on the tech platform.
SCE?
SE. There is a
School education. School education.
SE is school education. SE is school education. ECC is early childhood care and education. Teacher education is TE, and adult education is AE.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to clear their doubts? Please do so when Madam is still here with us.
Ma'am, I think there are some questions in the chat box also.
Can we speak Malaya?
Sir, there are some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
There are some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Yes, I have seen the chat box. So one question is that NEP 2020 emphasizes on core concepts and core competencies. Please help us understand to achieve this in social sciences. So I would request first this social science group should sit and first of all, they need to discuss among themselves because there are so many areas in social sciences like geography, history, political science, economics, sociology. So now they have to sit together and see that what are the competencies which are common to these kinds of areas. So let us have some common competencies and let us have some special competencies. So we need to set the criteria to identify those competencies, and then syllabus committees and textbook committees will work upon that to elaborate further more on that.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have another question, please.
FLN is foundational. Yes.
Ma'am, may I say something?
Please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, after the syllabus committee has sat, there will be what committee next is there, ma'am?
Then textbook development committee will be there.
And then
because then you have to develop your textbooks also.
Then after that, the NCF will come out, ma'am, or NCF will come before that?
Oh, NCF will come much before that.
Right.
NCF will come in August 2022, as far as our deadline is concerned. Okay, and after and syllabus work we will start parallelly now at the NCERT level. State may start little late, but we will start at NCERT level very soon, and then we'll develop a textbook maybe in the next year.
Ma'am, that means these textbooks can be will be available for 2024, ma'am?
For 23-24, we are planning to give textbooks for the foundational stage only. Only for the foundational stage.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have one query. I am from the school governance and leadership group, focus group. As per the expectations from the position paper, what we can see, apart from the curricular and pedagogy areas, we also have two sets of themes, which one is other important themes and the other is on cross-cutting themes. So with regards to our theme, that is school governance and leadership, the expectation, because whatever has been given in the guidelines, it is with regards to curriculum, the curriculum and pedagogy. So what about those other areas which are not at all related to curricular and pedagogy? So can we have some clear information with regards to that? Thank you.
What are these two areas? I could not listen properly.
Okay, let me get back. The guidelines that was being shared with us with regards to position papers. So apart from the curriculum and pedagogy, we also have two sets of themes. One is the cross-cutting themes and one is the other important themes. So I am representing the school governance and leadership. So in here, it is not a curricular paper or a curricular area. So with regards to that, is there any clear-cut perhaps guidelines or criteria where we can write the position papers? Because whatever we have seen in the guidelines, nothing specific is being mentioned with regards to these two themes, except the curricular and pedagogy.
No, I think you might not have seen the guideline properly. If you see the guideline properly, you will find all the 25 themes have been elaborated in the guidelines along with NEP, along with anchors and visions from the NEP 2020. And school governance and leadership will be a focus group paper. And under the school governance and leadership, you will be giving us a roadmap that when suppose experiential learning we are talking about. Now, if we are talking about experiential learning across the stages, school governance will give us the roadmap how this experiential learning will be implemented across the stages, across the classes. What kind of material, if different kind of material are required for that, if community participation is required for that, what should be the role of school governance in that? So what else school governance can take? Now, school complex will be talked about in this paper only. So you will find that we have elaborated, we have given questions also in this theme.
Yes, correct. Yes, I'm getting you, but you're not getting me to the extent, because whatever is being given in the guidelines, especially the references with regards to NEP, most of the information or the excerpts which is taken from the draft NEP. But if I may say so, the National Education Policy 2020 is already being approved, and it has been conceptualized and approved. So, but still, they are excerpts from the DNEP. So, and which talks mostly on school complexes, what you have just mentioned, but mostly on school complexes, nothing on curriculum or pedagogy.
Okay, actually, you're not very much clear. I'm not able to hear you. So maybe we can talk on phone. So I will be elaborating you whatever your concerns. So maybe some network problem and clear voice is not coming. So otherwise,
thank you, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Yes, inbox. I have sent one question.
Yeah. After DSC will complete, what is the role of the state level consultation group take up the consultation? How does the DSC reports will be handled by the state consultation group? Yes, after this DSC will complete, a report will be on the tech platform. So now this state focus groups will be given the observation rights, and these state focus group will be start looking at the DSC reports. And maybe they will get the compiled report for, like, education will get a compiled report on the science education concern. So drawing insights from the questions from the mobile app survey and district level consultation. So it will be there, and state focus group need to see that. State steering committee, actually they will be depending upon the focus group paper, but if they want to see, they can also be given rights to see those kinds of district level report and mobile survey analytics.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Hope I'm not, giving you a lot of questions, ma'am. Can I ask one more question, please?
Yes, please.
Madam, one latest development in this focus group relating to adult education. In the present, the ministry has even changed the nomenclature. No, ma'am, from adult education, now we are calling it education for all. So,
okay,
how do we go with this, ma'am? Even the nomenclature of the group, as per the press release from Ministry of Education, now they replace the word adult education with education for all. So should we also change that, or should we go with the same one?
No, it is a state perspective. You may have a title whatever your state wants. That is not a problem, because your state has concern about this. But when you will be uploading your paper in the tech platform under that vertical only. So maybe your title may be different. There is no problem. And this kind of things we can inform even other states also, that Meghalaya has taken this. And even we are now in Hindi translation, what we are doing, we are giving that Ajivan Shiksha. So rather than Praud Shiksha, which is actually literal meaning of adult education, now we are using Ajivan Shiksha, lifelong learning. So
Right,
of course there may be different nomenclature for adult education.
Ma'am, because this one has come from the ministry, no, ma'am. So I think
Yes.
this should
No,
be
no problem. Yes. So
Yes.
we respect state concern.
Okay, ma'am.
So when the state focus groups will start as per the area concerned, as soon as possible, you must start now.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question. I'm from social science group. How do we integrate content, pedagogy, and technology in social science?
You see, social science always integrate this content, pedagogy, and technology, because it cannot be done in isolation with that. You see, whenever, suppose you are going to teach a concept like equity, or suppose equality, you are going to teach this concept to the students. So while teaching equality, you cannot just lecture. You have to take lots of illustration, lots of example, even paper cutting you will be using in the classroom. And of course, nowadays you can use some kinds of videos if you want to show to the classroom. So when you are using those kinds of things in the classroom to just deliberate upon the concept of equality, maybe role play, maybe theater. So it is integration of content and pedagogy, and of course the technology. So you have to give lots of examples when you write your focus group paper from the context of Meghalaya. That okay, if we are taking this concept, we will be take care of this concept through role play, through theater, through arts and craft, or through community participation. So now there are any number of pedagogies which relate to experiential learning, and that glimpse you need to give in your focus group.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there's another question.
Yeah.
As per this guideline, stage-wise approach for education in social sciences, it covers from foundational to secondary level. So
Yes.
as we understand, secondary level will also comprise from 9 to 12.
Yes.
Now, in this context, for classes 11, 12, may or may we not have social science as a one subject or as a separate discipline?
These decisions we need to take after consensus. After we get inputs from the states and as well as from all the corners, then only we can take these decisions, whether these will be a separate subjects, whether it will be integrated, or whether there will be some multidisciplinary kind of subjects will be evolved. So those kinds of things still in the process of discussion.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So do we have any more questions?
Have you clarification on is it chat box working?
Ma'am, can you give us some clarification on the questions that are there in the chat box as well?
I think I have already talked about all the questions. One is like what is local and tribal knowledge systems. One participant is asking. So I have already explained that when we have our own traditions, whether in the tribal area, whether in the local area, and that tradition we want to bring into the school education. So we can say that this is our traditional and local knowledge system. So we have in our locality different kinds of food practices, different kind of clothing, dressing sense. So if those kinds of things we want to include in our curriculum, even indigenous medicines, indigenous toys, In Meghalaya, there are dolls. Those are very indigenous toys. In Assam also. So those kinds of things we need to see. And if we are integrating those kinds of things, that would be indigenous knowledge for our children. So, so this is the question. And then one question is that how many parts are there to write a position paper? So right now, I just say, first of all, I will request that please try to answer the questions which have been given in the position paper. Of course, position paper is in 3 parts. 2 parts have already been given in the position paper across the team. One is vision and the anchor. Anchor from the policy is given, vision from the policy is given. Now, your part is to give the response to the questions which have been given under this focus group.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I don't think we have any more questions.
Yes.
So I think we will close this session for today. And then thank you very, very much for your time and for the clarity that you have given us on the development of the position paper. Thank you, ma'am. So we will take a break for lunch now, and then we will join at 2. We will start again. Please join us again.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Again at 2 for another session with Professor Nityananda Pradhan.
Position, question answer first, and then continue.
Yeah.